Alright, so I'm here to show you this garbage build. It's Scorching Ray, Castman channeling, Righteous Fire. We channel up our Righteous Fire. This is kind of needed because it turns off all the time, because I'm low life, and I use this flask, which reduces my life to 1, which turns off Righteous Fire. Oh, joy of joys. So this is going to be a really bad build. I had to unsocket cast when channeling to get my Golem up the first time. Golem is pretty much the only way I'm actually getting enough regen to sustain Righteous Fire. My tree has fuck all, actually. I got a node, Patient Reaper, and I've got this thing. You can stop me. It says 40% increased energy shield recovery rate, which kind of boosts the effect of Zeltzos and whatever. So let's go try to clear Zeri's instance. This is a pretty difficult map for this character, probably the toughest there is, because it consists of lots and lots of enemies that use projectiles that are spells, that are unevadable, and that do chaos damage. So if this flask goes down and get hit once, I die. It's gonna be great. Expect at least 2. So the damage, there's a bunch of sources of damage. There's the Scorching Ray, has its own DPS. There's the Righteous Fire, that has its own DPS. There's the Vortex proc coming in off of the Castman channeling as well. That has its own DPS. That's about it. Any more secret DPS? I think that's about it, actually. But yeah, there's a lot of sources of damage that kind of like stack up to add it to be quite a bit. Potentially, you could also use a decay weapon as well. It's kind of hard to get a decay weapon with +1, in which case I could replace the Supreme Truth with it, but I kind of need the flat recovery from the extremely high level Stone Golem. And also the high level on Stone Golem helps it like not die to, you know, damage. Kind of helps out, you know. Yeah. So Righteous Fire turns off all the fucking time, but it turns back on all the time, which is convenient. Let's get to the boss. Yeah, so the damage is pretty decent, as you can expect. Not as high as like a regular Righteous Fire build, but, you know, whatever. Alright. Safety save. Let's get this guy. So my main defense here is, oh yeah, when I'm not killing anything, I can kind of idle around with Rejuvenation Totem. Rejuvenation Totem is actually an aura gem, and benefits from the increased aura strength nodes. So this thing is like 250 life regen a second base, so I get like 500 regen a second out of the thing after all the buffs are applied. My main defense is actually evasion. Let's get all damage. The damage, pretty high. Yeah, plenty high enough to kill it once. So the Shade Form gives a 20% more chance to evade attacks while not on full energy shield. This isn't really that useful if you only have like a 50% chance to evade. I mean, it pushes you to like 55% chance to evade, which, or what would that be, like 60% chance to evade, yeah. So, I mean, it's kind of useful for that, but it's not like that great. But if you have like a really, really high chance to evade, like 80% or like 85%, then it pushes you to like 95% chance to evade, at which point it kind of like, it triples your defense, basically, against attacks of a certain accuracy level. And because Enfeeble has some curse effect on it, I've got some blah curse effect, skittering runes and that, and I was going to pick up blah, but, you know, leveling this character at this point is impossible because of chaos damage. But yeah, Enfeeble gets to about 60-70% reduced accuracy rating, and a regular mob does, a regular high-level mob has about 800 to 1,000 accuracy, so it reduces their accuracy like 300, which crushes their chance to hit to about, I don't know, like 20%, which means my chance to evade is like 80%, and then the Shade Form applies, which pushes it to 95%. So the defense is actually pretty decent against attacks only of the non-chaos variety. Very important. Of which there really aren't any mobs in here that do that. If you're doubting how quickly I will die if this flask goes down, oh, observe. Yeah, instantly. So, you know, probably not a hardcore viable thing. Probably swap it out for Shavs. This build's basically garbage all around. May as well just throw my body at the trio and see how far I get. Is there a process to this? throw a thing and pop a thing and hope you don't fucking die. Terrific. Yeah, the damage is great. And you know, you can assume how Zerg was gonna go, so I figure I can just probably end it here. Yeah, pretty garbage build. Pretty cheap to gear out. I'm using a headhunter, which makes it very not cheap to gear out, but otherwise pretty easy to get stuff. The helmet has this buff effect for your stone golems thing. Good luck getting that. It's a pretty rare mod, and it's pretty goddamn powerful and very important. So, yeah, and on an Alzal, basically impossible. This build's basically uncopyable at this point. Shield, regular garbage shield, Lord's Lantern, Dota's Damning, Headhunter, Steppenerd, Gloves, Supreme Truth. You know, just your standard build full, like 8 uniques. You know, just what you regularly expect around these times. Fuck. So, you know, I'm using a Star of Ray class instead of a Nigamahu's Sign, which is a far better amulet for this. Because this one has cold damage, which is really helpful for Righteous Fire, but it's really good for the Cold Blast, which does 0 damage. Pretty useful for that. Anyways, the Queen's Chamber. One cool thing to note for Righteous Fire is if you zone, you get the invulnerability buff, and you can recover your ES completely. Or you can regenerate completely during this time. It's nice. Little grace period. Moving on. At least a Righteous Fire is a convenient way to kill things. And that's Zeri. I hope you enjoy this. Terrible build. It's terrific. I'll see you guys next time.